Hi everybody, it's been a little while. Today is, I believe it's the 13th of July. Let me just double check that actually. No, it's not the 13th, it's the 12th. So I don't know, the 13th tomorrow could be significant. It's been a little while. I'm happy to be back. I'm not sure if I'm going to be as, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't post as frequently as many tarot people on here, so just to be mindful. I know a lot of you have been on here, maybe have been wondering where I've been. I'm a mom of 4 and it's summertime, and I have a split family dynamic in my situation, so often that takes a little bit more energy to help the children when they come back from their other environment that they're in at times. So it's a process, so this could be something significant for you guys, something about a process. Since the last reading I did, right after I finished it, I've been meaning to come on, so it's been over a month that I have not found the time to get on, or I have had conflict come in, exterior conflicts coming in, which made it a bit more difficult as well. Irregardless, all of this could be relevant for the reason why I'm posting it today, and the reason why I'm posting it the way I'm posting it. It's very dark, there's no lights, so I hope you can see me okay. We were just out and about, and almost ran off the road, so that could also be of significance for this reading. Something about being ran off the road by somebody, somebody being reckless in nature, not staying in their own lane, because where they went in to try to drive around us wasn't an actual lane, so they would have had to run into us to take over the lane. So that's relevant, somebody not staying in their own lane, somebody being reckless. Also, the song, as soon as I finished my last video, the song Magdalena Hagdalena Ukataka Wakataka Okanokapoka was her name. She had 2 ears on top of her head, or something like that. That was in my head. That was very relevant, and it just reminded me of camp. So a camp situation was likely very relevant at the time that I was getting that message. And now that I'm saying that, I'm thinking about those, where is it, camp? You know, there's some severities when you interfere with people, when you put your nose where it doesn't belong, when you try to intercede your energy in flux into somebody else's life. There's a lot of really heavy ramifications in doing so, and oftentimes these ramifications can be dire. And it's fascinating because it's like people putting themselves in a space where they don't belong, not staying in their own lane, and trying to put themselves in another's, potentially interferes with a natural flow of homeostasis that we experience here on Earth. And this interference could cause something pretty grave to occur. And that song came to me right after my last reading, but I had some interference in my life. People putting themselves in my energy, not really knowing who I am or not really belonging in it, and causing some discord. So this could be, or is actually very relevant for today. And I feel the weight of what I've just perceived. And what I know about that interference. And I feel like that blowback will be divinely orchestrated And I personally wouldn't want to be on that end of it. So that's relevant for today's message. I do have some more. I typed out a whole bunch of stuff to go with that over the past month, but I feel like they're all irrelevant now. So there's quite a bit of stuff that has become irrelevant because of interference. And that really makes me feel sad, because it's like understanding the magnitude of something. It's like, if you're here to do a position, you're here for a purpose. We all are. We all have something that we're here for. And when we're here for purpose, and we're in our purpose, and we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and it feels good, we're in alignment with it, it's just flowing right because we're in alignment with it. If you're in somebody else's energy, putting your nose where it doesn't belong, trying to get in somebody else's lane, you're not going to be flowing organically with the nature of your pathways. You are now trying to strive to take over another person's pathway that is not your pathway. And when you put yourself in another person's pathway, you're not going to flow. Doors are not going to open. Things are going to be harder for you to try to get to wherever that person would have been able to get to flawlessly, because they have the experience, the understanding, and the life abilities to be able to do that. Now, if you're not able to do that position, you shouldn't be trying to get in that lane. And I think people think because something looks easy, because somebody makes something look easy, that it's easy up for grabs, it's easy to do. And I think our society kind of fails us in this understanding, where we tell our kids that they could do anything they want to do. And the reality is, and what I know I tell my children, I want you to do what makes you happy. And I'm not wanting you to strive for perfection. I'm not wanting you to strive for the top position in whatever. I want you to strive for what makes you happy, because that is the most important thing in life, is living with joy in your heart, and feeling and fueling your surroundings, your environments around you. And when you're not in your lane, you're not able to be and partake in that. So it's very important to focus on what is making you here, what helps you vibrate, right? And I think our society fails our youth because there's a lot of pressure. There has been a lot of pressure academically. There's just all these little spaces that just put pressure on, just a little dab of pressure to try to do something, just a little point in a direction to plant a little seed. And it's not necessary. These spaces really need to hold space for the kids to just be themselves and grow and develop in that way. And it's difficult, like it's hard. The energies today are heavy, they're dense. There's a lot going on in the world. There's been a lot going on in the world. And there's a lot of residual effects that are affecting our children in a huge way. And it's very necessary that we start to really sit in our authenticity and be who we're here to be, and not focus on the others around us as, but they have this, I should have this. That's not how life works. Your joy is not found in another person. Your joy is innately within you. And too many people are looking for their happiness, their joy outside of themselves. They're not focusing inward on what is actually screaming and calling out to them to listen, to pay attention. I often have screaming kids in my house. My kids are fine, but they're having their temper tantrums. They're going through the motions of the scenario of the dynamic of our life. We live in a very small space. I've been through a lot of stress and a lot of discord with my past relationship, and I'm dealing with the terrain of that for my daughters. And it's not easy. It's not easy dealing with that. And my focus is on how can I help them with how they're feeling about the scenario or the circumstance or whatever. I also have 2 boys that are always with me, and they also have a period of time where their siblings aren't here, and they have a homeostasis that gets a little bit rattled. So it's everybody's life is different, and everybody has to understand that just because something looks perfect to you on the outside doesn't mean you understand it on the inside. My daughter asked me today, because there's a lot of fighting or screaming, and we decided to go for a drive to cool down. And it's just a lot of misunderstanding and miscommunication. And when it's hot, it's very hot here, and there's a lot of terrain going on around us. It's very difficult to catch our guards and see our perimeters and feel what we're actually feeling inside of us. And today's circumstance with my daughter asking, and this is how easy it is to just figure this out for yourself. She said, "Mom, am I the problem here?" Because her brother had blamed her for something that really wasn't her fault. He was just angry and he lashed out on her. And I said, "No, it's not your fault. You know, we all deal with our environments and our circumstances differently. Just because we live in the same house doesn't mean each of us are going to experience the same things. You know, I'm a mom to Lila first. She was my firstborn, and then you're my secondborn, and I have a thirdborn and a fourthborn. And each one of you get a different version of me. And it's not that I'm trying to be different. I just can't be the same person, because I was once a mom of one, then I became a mom of two, then I became a mom of three. The responsibilities may all be the same, but the energy and the amount of work that is required is not the same. And although it's the same for one, it's not the same when it becomes two and three and then four. So there's a lot of differences there, right? And I think we have this idea in our head that just being a parent of one or doesn't matter, it's all the same, but it's different. And she asked that question today. And I said, well, you know, sometimes people feel things really big and expressive, and then they have to hone in a second and think about why they're feeling that way. But if they don't have the capacity to do that, especially with all these huge energies that are around us, all these big absorptions that are going on, like we feel everybody in our perimeter. If you have neighbors that are close by, you're going to be feeling them. If people, you're walking by people who are angry, you're going to feel them. If somebody feels a certain way about you, you're going to be able to feel them if you are able to tune in or hone in on that. And often we are taught to check out. I'm not taught to, I have learned to not check out. I've had to learn to not be checked out my entire life. And I'm teaching my children the same. So it's important that she understands that just because she can look at something in a way doesn't mean that it's true. And just because she's perceiving other people being angry with her doesn't mean that it's true, because she's looking at the outside of her. When you look outside of yourself, what are you looking for? You're not looking for anything that lives inside of you. So what you're looking for is outside of you. It's not organic to you. And when we're looking for our truths, when we're looking for something that resonates with us on the exterior of us, to try to focus or pinpoint ourselves back to who we are innately, that's where we can get a bit of confusion happening. And I said, I'm very proud that you asked this today, because it's important that you understand to ask your surroundings if what you're feeling is correct. And also pay attention to people when they're answering you, because sometimes people are going to say, oh, everything's cool, but it's really not cool. And you might feel that in the pit of your stomach, or you might just know that. And it's important to understand those little nudges that tell you, pay attention. Pay attention here, because there's a lot of wisdom floating around us if we were just to pay attention to it. And so this is all very relevant. I guess this is what the message is today. Just checking in, saying hi, because it's been a little while. There's been a lot of turbulence. I can't even say that word. Turbulence. That's not really the word I was trying to say for some reason. I can't pronounce it, and I can't even catch it right now. Anywho, I hope you guys are well. I hope this message makes you well. Yeah, it's important that we learn to stay in our own lane. It's important to do the work that we're here to do. And if you don't know what that is, you need to pray up and you need to do some inner reflection. And, just because you feel a certain way doesn't mean that's the truth. It's an emotion. It's a guiding light of some sort. And it's very important that we are able to indulge in ourselves in understanding these circumstances that we might be experiencing. So, yeah, we all have different ways of experiencing life. We all have different ways of viewing and feeling things, and we all have different starting points. So it's important to be gentle and to be compassionate and to try to be present. And, when I say that, it's like when I could look at my family and I look at how the summer's been, there's been a lot of ups and downs, especially with the kids, and they're not understanding the dynamic, right? They're home all day. They want to do certain things and we don't want them to do certain things all day. And then we have a lot of, where we've been trying to declutter and get stuff going out of our house for the longest time now. We finally found some time to do so. And it's like just placing our efforts where it's of importance and trying to figure out how to find the homeostasis for the kids as well, because we're doing boring things and not necessarily fun things all day long. And they also have to understand that life isn't always boring or fun. So I guess that's the message that I came on to tell you. Maybe I said a little too much. Maybe I didn't say enough, but maybe it didn't make sense. Maybe it did make sense. But for whoever was needing to hear this, there's something about staying in your own lane. You might have somebody impeding on your own lane. You might be trying to impede on somebody's lane. And oftentimes when we do that, it's usually because we don't want to focus on ourselves. We don't want to see the truth of what we're experiencing because it doesn't feel good. I often have people feel a little uncomfortable around me because I tend to pull out these shadow parts of them, and they don't tend to understand that. And they look at me and they have this perception, and they are usually incorrect on their perception. And if they were to only ask me and only talk to me to find things out, they might find a different viewpoint. But people are scared to reflect. They're scared to talk. They just want to assume, and they want to move in their emotions that they want to move in. And I've just been noticing this a lot lately. So I am going to pull a few cards on this energy just to see what's coming up, because I feel like it's relevant for somebody here today. I hope that it made sense for you guys. I did get a channel the other day, but I feel like it's a separate channel from this, and I'm going to probably post this out later on this week. I do have some birthdays coming up and such, so I'm not sure when I'm going to get back on with that one, but I'm going to try to get back on as soon as possible. So right off the bat, we have a Queen of Swords in reverse. I don't know if you guys can see it with the dark. The Queen of Swords in reverse. So somebody is speaking, and they're speaking fiercely upon something, very negatively upon something. I'm seeing a woman with reddish colored hair, auburny colored hair, maybe short hair, wavy maybe, or curled. I feel like maybe they're wearing it like kind of the way I have it, but I'm not seeing the length at the back. So it could be a short haircut, and it's like an auburny color. It looks like a finer hair type, maybe lots of it. Typical hair type. That could be relevant. That might ring a bell for some of you. I'm also seeing the name Judith for some reason, so maybe that name is significant. I also have the Two of Cups, and it landed in reverse. So the Two of Cups. Let's get one more here. So something about some sort of a relationship, talking negatively about a relationship. Some sort of circumstance between two people. It could be a business communication. It could be, and justice. Justice is flying out. So I feel like what's happening is they're not receiving some sort of extension towards them, and they're speaking ill of it. They're not being acknowledged for something. They're not getting love about something, or somebody's closed off to them because of the way that they're speaking. Regardless, this closing off is the justice. It's justice for what? I don't know. Let's find out. The King of Pentacles. Let me move my cards around here so I can fit this. I just quickly grabbed them. I'm trying to organize and go through kids' toys. You know, you accumulate so many toys over the years. We have too many toys. We have too many loving people in our lives that give us so many beautiful presents. But it's like, we got the Hermit and we have the Nine of Swords. I have no idea what I was just saying in regards to. I lost that thought. So the King of Pentacles I'm seeing is some sort of opportunity, some sort of connection that this Queen of Swords in the reverse feels they should have had. Tower is at the bottom of the deck. Something about sowing some seeds, but the Devil's following that as well. And there's Judgment behind the Devil, so something trying to create a tower for somebody else perhaps. And the Nine of Swords is justices. They're now thinking about this. The Hermit is underneath the Two of Cups reversed. So they're thinking about, why is it that I didn't get this couple love? Why didn't I get this connection? Because it's not your lane. You're not meant to be there. You did something devilish that towards another, and now you could sit with that. Whatever it is that you did towards another, some sort of connection, you now have to sit with that. You have to sit with that. Whatever it is that you did, yeah, you have to sit with that and reflect. And they're sitting and they're grieving over spilled milk, probably playing victim over the spilled milk that they spilled. We have a Two of Discs, so some sort of connection here. This is falling underneath that as well. So they're grieving, they're fearful of something that has happened or something that's occurred, and there's some sort of an exchange that has occurred. This is the current of the energy. So the exchange is in the air here. So some sort of exchange to do with a King of Pentacles. I'm getting opportunity there with the King of Pentacles, an opportunity that you could have had. And in the environment is a shift in energy. So I feel like perhaps the devilish energy was trying to create someone to be indifferent, not really want or care about the things that were coming at them, but it's been reversed. So that's showing like they know what they're wanting, they're on their route. Nothing is changing in regards to what this person was hoping would change. So something didn't work, and maybe that's what they're grieving. They're grieving that something did not happen the way that it was supposed to. We did have the Tower, we had the I think it was the Devil, and then Judgment. There's another card before the Devil. I don't remember what that one was. All relevant. What are they in their emotions about? They're in their emotions about death in the reverse. So something is being birthed, something is bringing into light, something is being revealed, something that was done in the dark, and they can't stop this from happening. I just heard social media, so social media, something over social media could be relevant. And then we have the Moon. So trying to cover it up, what they were trying to cover up. We have the Knight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. We have the Six of Cups, and then we have fighting with the Five of Wands, trying to contain somebody or cause some sort of imprisonment. So we have the Knight of Pentacles coming to collect something about memories. So somebody is coming, a Knight of Pentacles is coming in. So slow moving, but it's coming. It's formulated, it's here on the earth plane. Let's clarify some of these, see what's going on. I've missed you guys. I've been wanting to come on here and do a reading. I want to thank you all for staying with me and being patient. I do aspire to come on more frequently, but I do have other things that I am in line to do, and I'm just trying to do a little bit of everything that I can while also being a good parent to my kids. So, you know, we do what we can in our circumstances, and I'm doing the best that I can. So I hope that you guys understand that. Let's clarify here. What about this? What about this moon energy here at the end? Clarify. That just flew across. 1 second here. Okay, so what it was the Six of Wands, and it landed in reverse. This is something about the moon. So in the upright, this is usually victory, something successful, some sort of public honors is being displayed. But because this is in the reverse and it's landing with confirming about the moon, this is something that somebody's trying to hide, something that will give somebody credit for something, that people will maybe start to see somebody in a different light. You notice the shining light that keeps hitting at different points. My apologies if that's a little bright. That's relevant, okay? So there's some sort of spotlight shining, or that's about to shine on somebody, and it's like, see how it's kind of hiding a little bit, and then it's coming up, and then it's hiding a little bit. Relevant, okay? Relevant for whatever this energy is. We have the Hangman energy at the bottom of the deck, so something that is it's like implemented for all to see. So social media did come up earlier with, was it the Death card? Yes, the Death card in reverse. So social media did come up for that. So something suspended for all to see. The Six of Wands in reverse is somebody's trying to contain something. They're trying to hide something. They're trying to ensure that somebody doesn't see you reflected the way that you should be reflected. Likely somebody who is deserving of love, somebody who's deserving of these upgrades in your life. These experiences or opportunities should have been yours. And somebody wanted to implement themselves in your life to try to take away something that is meant for you. Heard not know more when I was saying what was not meant for you. Somebody who was trying to like strive to take away your opportunity, to get in your way, to create some sort of turmoil for you so you're not successful, you're not seen in the light. And I just heard while I was expressing all of that, not know more. Masculine wasn't a masculine energy, but it was a masculine infused energy, so that could be relevant. What just happened? Oh, High Priestess. So yeah, you are becoming privy to information. You probably already know it. You're somebody who's intuitive. You are guided by spirit. You have connections. You understand things. You can be psychic. You can be clairvoyant. You're somebody who gets signals and you understand what you're getting. And so this is going to cause problems for whomever this is, because they probably didn't think that you could do this. They're probably surprised by it, actually. So the Six of Wands reverse, we have the High Priestess, something under the moon. Somebody, maybe this person thinks they're a High Priestess, or maybe they were starting to realize that they're not the only High Priestess. I don't know. I feel like this is you, though. This is about you. Something relevant about the way that you get your information, signals. Somebody's trying to cause an end to that. Somebody is not liking your connections. That sounds familiar. It seems like when I do readings, people come in, it seems like this energetic experience of lull occurs. It's like, and then the throat chakra you feel and all this stuff. And it's like, why send all this like chaotic energy? I don't understand why people do this. It's so stupid. And it's just going to come back on you. I don't think people get that. Like, what you put out, you're going to get back. You're sowing it. You're dreaming of sowing energy chaotic for somebody else, somebody who's not done anything wrong to you. You're going to be getting it back. It's going to come back somehow. And likely not by the person that you're attacking either. Energetically speaking, intentionally speaking, having ill will, wishing ill will for another. You know, it's like when you sit there and you look at somebody for, you know, I could talk about this experience because this is something that I have struggled with my entire life. I've had moments in my life where I've been extremely fit, and I've had moments in my life where I have gained a lot of weight. And it's been a fluctuating period, up and down, up and down. And it's not necessarily that I'm doing anything wrong. I'm just, whatever it is, it's a state that my body is going through that I have to understand. Sometimes it's people sending fat magic or chaos magic or beauty spells or glamour spells or whatever it is. And it can inflict on you, right? If you're not sure what it is, you may all of a sudden get lazy, or all of a sudden you're craving things at certain times of the day. And like somebody is wishing this for you. Somebody is evil eyeing this to you. Somebody is, their intention, like people's intentions, you don't understand how powerful your intentions for another can be. And equally significant is those ill intentions that you have for somebody that doesn't deserve those ill intentions will always, always, most certainly come back on you. And I'm going to say this. I remember when I was younger and I was a little bit bigger and I just really wanted to be fit. I wanted to learn about that. And I didn't really have anybody role modeling around me who was like that. And I started to go to the gym. I started to walk everywhere and I started to see the baby fat come off. This is when I was like becoming a teenager, just adolescence or whatever, or throughout my life. I've had ups and downs with it. And the significant thing that I find fascinating, because I've seen it in other women too, so it's not just me. But when you live in this society, everybody compliments when you're skinny. Everybody compliments when you look like you've lost weight. Everybody compliments when you're fit. Nobody ever compliments. Often, in my experience, you don't find you get the compliments. You get the looks. People just assume that you're a certain way because of something. They don't think that maybe you have an illness. They don't think that maybe, you know, you have a hormone imbalance or you have something going on that could be causing this weight gain, right? People just assume that you are like eating like a cochon and that you're going to get big, okay? And that's not always the case. Sometimes there's factors as well with like emotional counterparts, somebody going through a lot of trauma, somebody trying to learn to understand the balance of their lifestyle. Going through a lot of stress creates a lot of cortisol. That's something that I have dealt with, that I'm starting to get back into key. But it's like at different age points too, it changes. But when you're struggling with that, and then you're having all these evil eyes being sent on you, whether you're skinny, you get the evil eyes because you're gorgeous, or you're skinny and somebody wants to be that size, right? And then when you're big, you're getting to look at like, how dare you eat like that? You should do better, and all this, like thinking that you don't exercise or you don't do anything. And it's just fascinating because I've been all points. I've been super fit and I've been big. And the fascinating thing is I still feel the same way regardless. There's still something in me that's causing the same signal. And that's the thing that I think people don't understand. It's like we're all just trying to do our best in our lives to just be comfortable in our bodies. And this is just really relevant for some reason. I'm sharing that with you guys. I don't know why I went on that tangent, but yes, I'm sure when I rewind this and see this again, I'll know. The Nine of Cups and the Empress came out as well. So this is clarifying the moon. So somebody is looking at you like you have these connections, that you have all these insights, and they're not happy about it. You could be somebody who resonates as an Empress, somebody who's had a lot of life experience. You've been through a lot of stages. You've been through a lot of things. You've experienced a lot. And you could be a mother or becoming a mother. You could be embodying that type of energy. And then the Nine of Cups is, you know, getting your wish fulfillment. It's like being joyful and loving and trying to have a balanced homeostasis. And somebody just cannot handle you having that. How dare you have love? How dare you be a better parent than me? This is all, again, perceptions. So it's funny because like, it's like I remember being really fit and thinking to myself, because I've been big, I know how that felt. I didn't want to be that size again, right? But then it's like there's a lesson in being that size again. If you are scared of something and you're saying that and it comes back and it happens, there's something for you to learn there. And when you're this size and you wish to be skinnier and you are looking at somebody who's smaller than you, and you're thinking that type of thought towards them, like, I wish, why do they get to have that? Why can't I have that? It's fascinating because those roles will flip. That evil eye will turn around and come back on you, and you will learn what it's like to be in that person's experience and your story. And that's the thing. That's how contagious energy is. So when we're wishing ill will on another person, this is how fast it could come back. It might not be right away. It might be in a year. It might be in 2 years. It might just take a little bit of time. But eventually you're going to be in the midst of what you wished you wouldn't have, and you look down upon another for it, and you will be in the midst of having that because you wish that. And through no fault of your own, unconsciously or consciously, you made that decision to have that thought. You entertained that thought within you, and instead of going in and looking at why you had that thought, you instead projected it out at another person that triggered that thought for you. Does that make sense? That's what's going on here. Somebody is triggered by you. They're looking at you and they're thinking, well, how can you be so happy? You look, or you have this, you're not this. Like, they're just judging you based on your exterior. They're based on what they think about you, like what they think, what people make up about you. People probably gossip to this person and they're listening to it. Or this person's gossiping about you and everybody's listening to it. Or maybe everybody's seeing this person gossips about everybody and is like, what the fuck are you saying? Regardless, somebody is saying shit about you and they're viewing you a certain way and they're trying to cause problems for you. The problem is, whatever problems they were trying to cause on you that's creating death is actually returning to them. They're going to experience everything they wanted for you, probably multiplied, because you didn't deserve it. And this is justice. This is your justice. And so that's the message today. I hope that made sense for somebody here. I know it rang a little bit of a bell for me. Anywho, thank you for sharing space with me today, guys. I'm going to try to come back as soon as I can. Thank you for holding the grounds for me while I'm gone. And I look forward to seeing you guys again. Until next time, have a great summer, and we'll see you guys again soon. Take care. Bye.